All right, another day, another lost sector. Today, we are on the concealed void on Europa. We're away from the moon, which is nice because the moon lost sectors are all very long. But we're going to be showing every class as usual, so skip ahead. If you're not playing a Titan, we're just starting off with Titan. And we are going Strand Titan. I'm trying to keep all of these builds relatively the same, so if you're kind of following along and looking at each one of these guides, I don't want to just switch up the build completely each time. You should be able to load in with relatively the same build and dominate in these. So we're starting off here. We've got one Overload champion right around this corner here. Very easy to take out. Just kind of grapple melee him. You could just use a machine gun to kill him too. Doesn't really matter. You've also got Overload hand cannon. You should on your artifact perk if you don't. But yeah, we're going to be getting our grapple back very quickly. The grapple melee with Syntheseps just does so much damage as long as enemies are nearby. But yeah, very good build to roll with. But yeah, you'll see me kind of pick up a lot of these tangles on Titan and just toss them at enemies. It does a lot of damage. And also, they will, when they detonate, you can run through them to pick up Woven Mail, as long as you're copying my build here. But Quicksilver Storm is the weapon I'm using. It's very good, but it's not necessary. And as I've said in my other videos too, if you feel like my playstyle here is just way too fast, it's actually probably not. I'm not as good of a player as you think I am, as you can see by that jump right there. Totally whiffed that. But no, Strand Titan's just fast. It's a lot of fun. But if you really are kind of scared to go out to a lot of those enemies, that's okay. You can hang back in almost this entire lost sector. There's very good hiding. Once you take out the champions, of course, you've got to pop out a little bit here and there for the champions. But taking out this shank here, there is solar threat, so that's something to keep in mind. You've only got a few solar enemies. Of course, we have exploding shanks coming up, but one overload here. This guy can be annoying if you don't get up and close right in his face like I did here. So that Vandal can be even more annoying if you don't take him out. So he'll just kind of snipe you while you're trying to kill that overload. So make sure to take both of these guys out. I should have probably reloaded there. Always keeping your machine gun loaded is good, especially when you're dealing with overload champions. But in general, it's just a good idea to keep your weapons reloaded. And I don't know why I keep doing that. I'm grappling, trying to do the grapple melee, and I'm like 1 inch away. So I don't know what I'm thinking there, but only a few enemies in there. And then here we have some exploder shanks, 2 waves of them. So it tries to bait you here by saying, hey, kill this overload champion. But you actually just need to touch that lip there, and then you're going to get 3 more, or multiple more shanks that pop in. And yeah, that's it. Now we can safely hop over here, take out this overload champion. I did clear out, there's a sniper Vandal that likes to hang out back there too. And I'm not sure if I got him yet, but usually he will just kind of hang back there. So take him out if you can while those exploder shanks are popping out. But this is actually the final room. We're already here, so like way better than the moon lost sectors in terms of farming them. So if you want to do farming, like I said at the beginning, do it on Legend. Master is just not worth it. You only have a slightly higher chance of getting an exotic to drop. But you'll see I popped my super here. On Titan, we're so tanky. We've got Banner of War, we've got Woven Mail, and I'm just going to spam light attacks and do as much damage as I possibly can. And then we're going to get another wave of enemies that pops out. And I'm showing this section. I don't need to go back here, but I like just showing you that you can. If you ever feel like you're overwhelmed, no enemies ever pop behind this wall. So it's super easy just to hang out here and poke your head out every now and then. But you'll see on Strand Titan, I don't really care all too much there. So I can just grapple out, kill this servitor because he will block all the enemies, including the boss. And then we're pretty much set here. Kind of finishing off in style here. Melee the boss to death, and then there will be some enemies. So if you're stuck back there, just make sure you clear them out before you go run to the chest. But that's it on Titan. This was kind of a slower run, and we're at like 4 minutes. So not bad. But let's move on to Hunter. So we've got the Certarachnes Facade. And if you're just now skipping ahead to this section, don't worry. I'm going to cover this like you have not seen anything on this before. But yeah, the game plan here is to, with all these lost sectors this season, I want to keep the builds as close to the same as possible. So that way you can just load in each time with your Lost Sector build and not have to worry about mastering a completely new playstyle each time. So sometimes it might switch up slightly, but for the most part, I will keep them the same for you. So I always like to start off by throwing a threaded spike there because it creates a tangle, which does a lot of damage with the whirling maelstrom. It's definitely going to be one of the coolest strand aspects for sure. I just love the playstyle, but yeah, easily take out that overload champion with the tangle kind of destroying him, so makes it very easy. But yeah, this room here, just pick up whatever tangles you find, throw them, let them wreak havoc across the whole room. We've just got this heavy shank here, a couple more vandals on the other side waiting for us, but they are already dead because the tangle is too powerful. But this next room, we're going to have two champions. We have one barrier. That was a awesome throw by me, by the way. We have one barrier, which we're going to deal with here, and then one overload up ahead. Thankfully, they don't ever meet, so the barrier is not going to try and shield the overload. But these shanks can do a lot of damage if you let them all kind of gang up on you. So take some out if you can. I am playing it kind of risky here, but I popped my threaded specter to help kind of be a decoy so they won't shoot at me as much. So if you are kind of struggling here, don't feel like you have to be this crazy and be up this close and personal, but you can because Legend is not that dangerous. And remember, we've got Woven Mail as long as we are grappling, so make sure to use that. Here we've got just a couple enemies up top, just a few very easy enemies, and then this other side will have a heavy shank, so make sure we're going to need to clear out all of these enemies in order to open up the next area. So if you need to take this whole thing one by one, feel free to do that. You'll see me kind of missing some shots there, but this overload champion and sniper vandal kind of make a really good combo. And we want to take out, if you're dying by that overload champion a lot, all you have to do is take out the sniper because he doesn't have any protection. There are no shields for him, so very easy. And I think that is what I do here because he started kind of aggravating me a little bit. I was trying to just take out this overload, but he was being annoying, so we took him out with one grenade, and now we can easily take out this overload champion. Now he will sometimes go behind that pillar that he's on, and if he does, he's going to heal up. So you want to get right up and close here. And I was not reloaded here, so I had to have kind of an embarrassing moment here and wait the 5 years it takes to reload a machine gun. But you can easily kill an overload champion with one magazine of machine gun ammo. It's very easy on Legend. This next room here just has a few easy red bars to kill, so just take them out. Just a wretch, no problem. Our whirling maelstrom will do all the work for us. We can skip right ahead. And then we have two waves of these exploder shanks. So you just take one out, they almost all blow up. And then that sniper vandal will kind of move back if we don't take him out. And the game wants you to press forward. It tries to bait you, but you want to touch that ledge there and look back around, and then we have a whole other wave of exploder shanks that pop out, along with an overload champion. So you can see if you have an overload champion with that sniper vandal hanging out back there, it can be kind of annoying, so I always like to take it out quickly. But yeah, we're just making quick work of this overload captain, and then we're actually going to be on the final room already. So very quick, a lot easier than all of the Moon lost sectors. So Moon is terrible to farm on as far as time to reward ratio. But we're going to clear out a few enemies here, nothing major, and then the boss will spawn in once we clear everything out. Pop the super immediately. We can do quite a bit of damage with the Hunter Strand super, and as we get him down in health, more enemies will spawn in, just like most other lost sectors. And I didn't need to do this here, but I did like just showing that this area back here, you can hide in. No enemies will ever come back here. And you can literally just hang in this area the entire time. Pop your head out, take a couple shots. But on Strand, I really don't care too much because we've got Woven Mail. It's just Legend, so they're not going to do a ton of damage. And I can just use my machine gun to kind of hang back and kill the boss. So it's extremely easy. Do kill that servitor if you can. I got kind of lucky here because the servitor normally will try to shield the boss. which makes it very annoying, and all the other enemies. So if you can take out the servitor, do that. And that is it. You'll still see enemies kind of running around here. You don't have to kill them, just grab that chest. So for Warlock today, we're actually switching it up for the first time. We're going with your kind of standard run-of-the-mill Sunbracers build. I feel like most people would be comfortable with this. But the strategy for the Lost Sectors this season, I'm going to try and do this for every season, is I want to keep the builds as close to the same each time as possible. So you're not having to switch up your playstyle for every single Lost Sector. This is the first time we're kind of deviating from that. So Solar, I know we're switching it up a little bit, but there is a surge for Solar today. And starting off here, we just have a couple dregs, and then an Overload champion will be waiting for us around this corner. The weapons that I'm using here, I've just got a LMG, the one that you can get from Duality. There's nothing special about it. And Sunshot is kind of a fun weapon. It's just a hand cannon. I'm only using it for Overload and some ad clear, but you don't have to have it. None of the weapons I'm using here are essential to this build, and I'm trying to make it like that for every single clear that I do here. But this does help speed it up for sure, so if you do have Sunshot, it makes it a lot of fun. We got a heavy shank over there, a couple more Vandals on the other side. We have Solar Threat today, so a lot of the enemies do arc, so we're not should be too concerned about it. But this room here, we've got one Barrier Champion and one Overload Champion, but thankfully they don't interact with each other at all, so that Barrier Servitor is not going to try and shield the Overload Captain, which makes it helpful for us. But if at any point you feel like I am going too fast for you, or which I'm not, I feel like I'm not that great, but you can always hang back. In this Lost Sector, it's very safe. You can go back at that ledge, kind of where I'm looking at right now, if you need to. Just make sure you take out that Barrier Champion, and we want to clear out the Shanks as well, because if you're just kind of sitting there with all those Shanks shooting at you, you're going to take a lot of damage. So if you need to, shoot off one Shank at a time, the ones that the Barrier Champion is not shielding, but we got that done easily there. And pardon me while I look at my phone for a second there, but we're going to take out this heavy Shank. And I said screw it, we're going to pop a well, because on Solar Warlock, with this build, we get our well back extremely quickly. I will be able to pop, you'll see 2 more wells by the time we finish this Lost Sector in just a couple minutes. So, very good build here. I am hanging back, taking out this Overload Captain. He can go behind that column that he was kind of hanging out at, which that can make it very annoying to deal with. This sniper makes it very annoying as well, but I got lucky. Usually you want to take out that sniper first before dealing with the Overload Captain. But in that case, we just did it. And here I was kind of waiting for my melee to come out so I could just proc some Sunbracers, but it really didn't help anything at all. In this next area here, we have one Sniper Vandal in the back, along with a wave of Exploder Shanks that will rush you until they blow up, so just make sure you take them out. And then we're going to touch this ledge here, and then immediately look back, because that will spawn in the next wave of Exploder Shanks. So, easy to take out there, and then one Overload Captain is going to sneak out of this hallway here, and we can easily take him out. I think I took out the sniper. There is a Vandal sniper that will shoot at you occasionally, but I think I took him out. If not, you can always feel free to hang back there where I was just looking and take them out from afar. But you don't have to do this flawless. Just a reminder, I put it in the thumbnail because it just shows you how easy it is to do these on flawless, just so you can get a lot of runs in. But we don't want to farm Master. I know I put out a Master guide a couple days ago, but just decided, you know what, let's just do Legend, because Legend takes a third of the time. Everyone can do it, and this is how you get exotics. But if you do want to see Master guides, I'm waiting for a comment to let me know, like, hey, do the solo flawless Masters. I can do that, I just haven't seen too much desire for it. But I did pop my second well there, and I'm just doing the cheesiest boss damage possible. I'm just sitting back with a machine gun and doing damage. But you know what? We are not speedrunning this. It is kind of a speed run, but we're just going to be using heavy ammo from back here. And I did show this in each one of my guides here on both other classes. This area back here, if you hang behind that wall to my left, no enemies will ever come back there. So you're safe to peek behind that wall to your pleasing. So whatever you want to do that. I'm not too concerned with my health here because we're on legend and it's kind of easy to heal up. But there will be a lot of adds that spawn in as we take down the boss's health, kind of like all the other lost sectors that we do. But I'm just plinking away here. There is a barrier servitor, or not a barrier servitor, just a regular servitor that spawns in. And he will provide a shield to the boss if you don't take it out, so just make sure, take out that barrier if you can. But that is the Lost Sector. All 3 classes done. Let me know if you want to see some master guides, but in the meantime, I will see you in the Discord or in the next video.